Hi, I'm Tina Ann Middleton, author of the Forestville series, and I would like to welcome you today to the writing journey, where we inspire and encourage each other in the craft of writing. Today we're going to talk about keeping your voice in your writing. We'll be right back. In a previous episode, I talked about the importance of feedback for a writer. Today, let's talk about keeping your voice in the midst of all that feedback. Now, before we get started, let me encourage you, if you like these videos, please subscribe to my channel. Make sure that you ring the bell so that you get notification of future videos. Also, please follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and my Amazon author page. So editing is a very important part of a writer's journey. And we self-edit, which is very important, but we also need others to help us with this editing. For instance, you might pair up with a critique partner, where you critique your partner's work and your partner critiques yours. And this can be very beneficial because you've got other eyes on your work. I'm a member of the American Christian Fiction Writers, a local group, as well as the national. I've also been a member of Romance Writers of America and the local group that we had here. Both groups, what they would do each year is the members would submit stories for an anthology. Well, you couldn't just submit the story. You also edited each other's work. And that's a very beneficial way to get other writers to catch things you might not catch in your writing. Now, there are advantages to having others edit your work like that. And I'm not talking about the professional editing. That's a different animal. I'm talking about a teamwork kind of thing. One of the benefits is to have others put fresh eyes on there. They catch typos, they catch grammar errors, spelling mistakes. Because when we're writing, a lot of times we're just focused on get that idea down. And even when we edit our own work, we're not always going to catch the typos and grammar errors and spelling errors because we may have read over this thing 20 times. And it's familiar now. So we can miss these mistakes. That's why it's good to have somebody else look at it. Now, there are disadvantages as well to having fellow writers look over your writing. The thing, too many cooks spoil the soup. The editing advice that comes back to you, it can be kind of overwhelming. You might think you did a really good job on that story, and then someone sends it back to you marked up in red. That can be a bit overwhelming. Also, you might get conflicting advice if you've got more than one writer looking at your story. One might say, well, you need to make this stronger. Another might say, well, you need to play this down and play this up. So you're going to get that conflicting advice. So, also you may feel if you follow all of these edit advice things, it takes away your voice. That by the time you finish changing everything according to what other people told you, it doesn't sound like your story anymore. So what do you do with the editing advice? Make sure that you do read each suggestion carefully. Don't just look at it and blow it off, and don't feel like you have to do every single thing. Look at it, and if you feel like, yes, that's a necessary change, I need to change that, do it. But, it's your story. The edits are suggestions. They're not the Ten Commandments. So if you look at it and you feel, well, no, this is not good, they're not catching what I'm trying to say here. Don't change it. It's your story. I have a wonderful program. I just got it. It's called Pro Writing Aid. And they did not pay me to tell about this. And there are other programs like Pro Writing Aid. There's another one called Grammarly. I haven't checked that one out. But I really like the Pro Writing Aid because it helps with things like style, grammar, and overused words. I think there's more to it than that, but those are the three things that I've been using it for. And it will show me where I need to make changes. Maybe I'm overusing adverbs. I'm kind of fond of adverbs. Maybe my voice is too passive. I'm using a passive verb. I need something more active. And I'll look at that and I'll say, yeah, you know what, I think I can change that. Let me change it to this word. Grammar usually catches me on commas. But there have been times I've looked at it and it's made a suggestion and I've said, well, no, that adverb needs to stay. There's a reason I have that there. Or why is this thing telling me to put a comma in the middle of this phrase? Artificial intelligence is wonderful when it works. So it's my job as the writer to look at what this program is suggesting and determine, do I need to make this change? It's not telling me I have to. They don't have any say-so over my story. I do. And they don't have any say-so over your story. You do. So we are the writers. We decide what needs to be changed. Having a critique partner or a group of other writers who will read and offer suggestions for editing, polishing your story is incredibly valuable for writers. Programs like Pro Writing Aid can help you polish your manuscript as you write. But when it comes right down to it, this is your story. Only you can decide what it needs so that it keeps your voice. Just make sure you keep on writing and have a great week.